Ah, good evening, good evening. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Carolina Panthers Talk live stream brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Okay, here we are. Week 3, Carolina at Seattle. Ugh, we got quite a matchup to talk about. And hopefully, my good friend, Mr. Carolina, will be joining me in a little bit. But oh man, we got quite a we got quite a matchup to talk about, y'all. Uh, and the way things are looking, whew, um, I'm concerned. I'm definitely concerned. But we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it as usual. Be sure to check out the link in the description for Game Beauty for an awesome lineup of video game themed makeup and cosmetic products. If you see something you're interested in and want to make a purchase, be sure to use the promo code BlitzballChamp, all in caps, underscore, between Blitzball and Champ. You can get 10% off of your order. So be sure to definitely use that. But yeah, Carolina going into enemy territory to take on the Seattle Seabirds. Whew. A matchup that we're familiar with, but haven't exactly won a lot of times. And coming into this 0-2, yeah, haven't really been able to get much going, especially offensively. And the injury report is not really working out in our favor. That's for sure. Um, but yeah, we have a tough task on our hands. We have a tough task. But anyway, let's get started. Hopefully, Mr. Carolina will be joining in soon. Um, oh, 1 second. 1 second. Sorry about that. Alrighty. Okay. Third game, week 3, our second game on the road. Carolina Panthers take on the Seattle Seahawks this Sunday, September 24th. This is a 4 o'clock game, 4:05 p.m. game, so late afternoon. The matchup predictor. Um, good evening, Chef 85. Welcome to the stream. Says looks like Dalton will be starting. Young was held out of practice for the second straight day. That is correct. I think they went ahead and made the call that Andy Dalton would be starting. So yes, that is correct. I don't feel great about it, but I mean, what can we do? The ESPN matchup predictor has a 72.5% chance that Seattle wins and a 27.3% chance that Carolina wins. Uh, yeah. And looking at this injury report, actually, Seattle's got a lot of folks on there. No, I'm just now seeing this, but Seattle's got a lot of injuries as well. Um, let's see. Austin Faulu, defensive tackle, is out. Brian Monet is out. Rashawn Henry, wide receiver, injured reserve. Andrew Whitaker, injured reserve. Joshua Onojogu, injured reserve. Kenny McIntosh, Derek Young, both injured reserve. Offensive tackle, Abraham Lucas, injured reserve. DK Metcalf is questionable. Didn't practice. Didn't practice today. So DK Metcalf, questionable. Quadre Diggs, questionable. Damian Lewis, uh, tight end Will Disley, he didn't practice. He's questionable. Uh, Rick Woolen, questionable. He didn't practice Wednesday. Um, Jamal Adams, questionable. Safety Julian Love, cornerback Kobe Bryant. Oh, even Charles Cross is listed as questionable. Wow, so Seattle's actually got a pile of injuries on their injury report. So something to make note of. I know for Carolina, as we all know from the previous game, Shaq Thompson suffered I believe it was a fractured or torn fibula, so he is out for the season. So we lost Shaq. Bryce Young, according to ESPN, Bryce Young is listed as doubtful. Miles Sanders, Brian Burns, Justin Houston listed as questionable. Let's go to the team page, the team page for the injury report. 1 second, let me pull it up. Here we go. So Thursday injury report. So as Chef 85 reiterated, Bryce Young did not practice today. He also did not practice yesterday and is not expected to play this Sunday. So therefore, Andy Dalton will be making his first start this season for the Carolina Panthers. They also signed quarterback Jake Luton to the practice squad this past Wednesday. So just in case. Brian Burns, Justin Houston, and Miles Sanders, all three were limited participants. Linebacker Chandler Wooten and outside linebacker / edge rusher Amari Barno were full participants. So, yeah. Chef 85 says inside linebacker starter Camus or Jones. I would go Camus. He has earned the right to get the start at least for one game. Deion Jones in spot duty only. Your thoughts, sir? Um, I would agree. And I like Camus. I definitely like Camus. I felt like he had a good camp in preseason. So I have no problem putting Camus there. Deion, I mean, he did get added to the 53-man roster. A lot of people say that he's not the type of player that he once was for so long. So, I don't really know if they would rotate him in depending on certain packages, but I do agree, Camus starting. Why not? I'm comfortable with that. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. As a matter of fact, I wonder. I kind of want to see the depth chart. As a matter of fact, Camus is listed on the ESPN depth chart as the starter now over Deion Jones for left inside linebacker. So, yeah, there you go, Chef 85. They actually do have Camus starting in place of Shaq. There you go. Um, People forget Luvu was a special teams linebacker when he arrived in Carolina, so anything can happen. That is correct. Came from the Jets, mainly a special teamer. Now he's a starter, so you are correct there. Good call. Good call. Now, so yeah, that was a pretty straightforward injury report for today. But yeah, Andy Dalton's gonna get his shot. But here's the thing, and we're gonna get ready to go into the statistical comparisons, but there's gonna be quite a lot to look out for in order to really give Carolina the best chance of a miracle of a win. But let's let's get into it. Let's get into it. Where's it at? I just saw it a moment ago. Where the heck is it at? Wait a minute. Hold up. Ah, here we go. Okay. Carolina Panthers, Seattle Seahawks. Seattle is 1-1, which actually their loss was at home. So Seattle has yet to win a game at home this season so far, but they're 1-1. They're 0-1 in the NFC West. Carolina 0-2, 0-2 in the NFC South. Historically, Carolina and Seattle have played each other 15 times. Seattle has a 10-5 lead over Carolina. And of course, the last time we played Seattle, we did beat them. So something to note. Um. Oh, Chef 85 says, "Do you think signing Sanders at running back um and not a higher priced wide receiver instead was a mistake? So far, our O-line has been banged up, I know, but Sanders has not really done much. Only 2 games, but still." Um, to be honest with you, Chef 85, I was kind of surprised that we even went after Miles Sanders in the first place because I really felt like we were going to get Deontay Freeman back. I really thought we were going to get, or excuse me, Deontay Foreman. I really thought we were going to get him back. So, I mean, when I heard that they got Miles Sanders, I mean, I wasn't mad because I mean, Miles Sanders is coming off one of his best seasons with Philly. I mean, he went to the Super Bowl, rushed for over 1,000 yards. So, I mean, that I can respect, but initially I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they would go after a Miles Sanders, to be honest with you. So, I mean, that's all I could really say. Like if it was me, I would not have made a thought about Miles Sanders as somebody to go after because I really felt like we had a good combo and Deontay and Chuba. I felt like we had a good combo there. So it was kind of surprising. It was kind of surprising. Would I have done that? Most likely not. Most likely not. I wouldn't have done that. Let's see. But good question though. That's a really good question. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Oh, Mr. Carolina's trying to join. Uh, oh, wait a minute. I think I might have sent him the wrong link. 1 second. 1 second. Ah, I think I sent him the wrong link. Okay, he's trying to get in here. One second. Sorry for the delay. Okay, let me text him. But yeah, he's on his way in. I sent him the wrong link. Ugh. But yeah, we can go over the statistical comparisons together. Okay. Although, you know, and there's a point that I definitely want to mention when it comes to the weapons, especially on the wide receiving core. I've been hearing a lot just of back and forth amongst fans as far as we have no weapons versus you know we have weapons. But I just really feel like, I mean, when you think about it, when we last went to the Super Bowl, I mean, we had a lot of no-name receivers. I mean, Philly Brown, Ted Ginn Jr., Jericho Cotchery. Like, I think our only big name receiver was our tight end, uh, Greg Olson. But I really felt like plays were called to complement the skills of the receivers and to utilize what they could do. And that hasn't really been happening so far this season. And it actually hasn't happened in a while. It hasn't happened in a while. Because here's the thing, DJ Chark did pretty well with Jacksonville, had 1,000 yards with Jacksonville, did pretty well with Detroit up to the injury. Thielen did really well with the Vikings, so I mean, on paper, you would think these weapons, you know, should be able to do something, but I don't know if it's something up with the play calling or with just they're not able to get separation. It's tough. Oh, here he comes. I just got to give him the passcode. Alrighty. Mr. Carolina should be on his way in. Hopefully. Hopefully. We'll get him in here, and then we'll continue forth with the statistical comparison and also get his thoughts on a lot of what's going on. You know what I mean? So should be good. Should be really good. But looking at the rankings for Carolina, they don't look good, especially offensively, and you'll see what I mean. Hopefully McAdoo, sorry, Wright gets his act together this week. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Gets his act together this week. Oh, there he is. I don't know why it's making me admit him. Ah, there he is. Here, let me make it gallery style. There we go.
Yo,
Hey, hey,
what up? What up? Long time no see, my brother. Long time no see.
ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Carolina himself of the Bleeding Carolina Blue podcast. is back in full effect. Good to see you, bro.
Good to see you, Ken, folks. Been a long time. Good to be back in action again.
You've been well?
I've been blessed, my brother. How about you and your family?
Oh, yeah, we're doing really good, doing good. Congrats again on the marriage, man. Looking good. Looking
Eh,
good.
Man, I'm trying to test out this new toy here, bro. We got a new laptop. I was trying to join the meeting from the laptop. It wouldn't let me join it, so I'm doing it from the phone.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Well, you're coming in clear.
Well, that's that S23 look good. That Ultra. All you iPhone users, I'm sorry, not sorry.
hey, at least you're honest. At least you're
You know
honest.
what I'm saying? Keep it $150.
Indeed, indeed. Austin Jug, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. But
Mm-hmm.
you're just in time because we haven't gotten to the statistical comparisons yet, but
No.
we talked a little bit about the injury report. Oh, quick thing from Chef 85. Chark is banged up and Thielen's ankle is still not 100% either. TMJ is looking like a bust though. I had high hopes for him. Oh shoot, we're getting right into it already. All right, I gotta talk to you about these weapons. Of course, you know you've played the wide receiver position, so
Yes. Yes.
I gotta get at you. How are you feeling about these weapons? Let's start there.
You know what? I can't even put this. I know I may be the odd man out, but I got to be the voice of reason on this one too.
Let's go.
I can't even put this all on the weapons. And I know it's easy to blame the wide receivers when the rookie quarterback isn't doing well. I know it's easy to blame the running back and the offensive line when the rookie quarterback isn't doing well. But if you look at a few of these throws, we're gonna call them rookie mistakes. We'll give them that.
Okay.
If you look at the deep ball that Mingo had, I don't know if it was his previous game or the game before, where he had the man beat to the inside. Bryce throws that ball to the inside on that deep pass. Mingo's wide open. He catches it in stride. He keeps running.
Mhm.
Guess what? That's called separation, folks. So they get separation on certain plays. If you look at the bots play where Bryce was scrambling to his left, I believe it was this previous week where Chark and Mingo, I think, were in the same vicinity.
Mhm.
I think it was a third and long or third and 8. If he leads Chark just a little bit up the field, instead of trying to force it into where Mingo probably shouldn't have been, that pass is completed. So a lot of folks forget that the defense gets paid too.
Right.
They're going to cover. We're not playing slouches. You know, the Falcons secondary is no slouch. The Saints secondary is one of the best in the league. It's like there's no slouches. So we're not playing the Bears. We're playing legitimate defenses. So to say our wide receivers not getting any separation, heck, if you look at the fastest wide receiver in the league, Cheetah,
Mhm.
most of his catches, he's not usually just wide open, but if he is, it's because of the way they're scheming it. They're scheming them to get open. Frank Wright is not drawing plays to scheme these wide receivers open. You and I text you to this. When you're calling plays for a receiver, like myself, when I played, I was a speed receiver. I said I was about 5'9", 185 pounds. So I was a speed receiver.
Mhm.
So my coach would design plays towards speed. Mingo is a possession receiver. Some people don't want to hear it. He's a big bodied possession receiver. He's not built for speed.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
We want to call Terrace Marshall a bust, but we was seeing his glories come to the end of last year because he was coming on strong because he had a veteran quarterback that knew how to get him the ball in position to be successful. We were putting these guys in position to be successful. Now I get it. First year quarterback, first year head coach. I know my light just went out on my computer, but it's like it's a lot of first year things going on.
Right.
So I'm not going to say call Terrace Marshall a bust. If that's the case, Signing DJ Chark was a bust. Signing Adam Thielen as much as signing Hayden Hurst was a bust. We can't say that because we have a rookie quarterback and we have a coach that is not putting these guys in position to be successful. He's just not. Let's just call it what it is. They're not put in a position to be successful. And yes, and let's not skip over the fact that we had two rookie guards playing. If you don't have the necessary time to get back there and do what you need to do,
Hmm.
it ain't going to work. Now, do I have a little bit more high hopes this week? I'm not going to keep it above 50 with you. Andy Dalton is a serviceable quarterback,
Hmm.
but I can guarantee you, watch this. Watch the offense open up this week more than it has the previous 2 weeks. Watch what I tell you. Why?
Ooh.
Because I'm not even kidding you, bruh. I'm not even kidding you. Watch it open up. Why? Because Frank Reich is going to have more confidence in the veteran quarterback than he does the rookies. Now you cannot tell me when we were doing this little hard knock thing with the Jets, if we all watched it, like I know you and I did, how many of those balls were going downfield that Bryce Young was throwing? How many was he connecting with who? DJ Chark. He was connecting with Hayden Hurst. Oh, somebody put an APB out for Hayden Hurst because we didn't see him last week.
Right.
We
Def.
were hearing all these big things about Laviska Chenault this week. That man had one carry for 7 yards.
Yep. That's
We
it.
didn't hear nothing else from him. Why? Because our coach, and again, I'm gonna give him a pass for 2 weeks. You have all these weapons. It's like a kid in a candy store.
Right.
You have all these weapons that you don't know what to do with. Terrace Marshall is a big body receiver that can get downfield. Why? Because we seen it last year when he was catching all those jump balls. Like let's just be real with it. Them jump balls that he was catching last year, nobody else in this team was catching, but TJ was catching them. So the man's not a bust. You're just not feeding him the rock. Give the man the ball. DJ Chark is known as a burner. Adam Thielen is a possession receiver. Mingo, for right now, you put your butt in that slot and be a possession receiver. Hayden Hurst is a big body tight end that we always singing his praises. That I don't. He caught one pass last year. Excuse me, last week. And did you see the intensity that he showed when he was like, "Yo, give me the ball"?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
not giving me the ball. So it's not that our receivers can't get separation. It's that we're not calling the plays to make them successful. Our offense, Jay, I'm not even kidding you last week, bro, was putting me to sleep. I'm sitting here
Dang.
watching them just like, oh my God. I got excited when the defense stepped on the field. But when
Yeah.
offense is like, oh my God, yo, here we're gonna run the same stupid plays, and here we go.
It
Oh my
was it
God.
was pretty ridiculous.
It's sad.
Chef 85 says, "Oh, Austin says I'm doing good. Thanks. Good to hear." Chef 85 says, "Anyone else see Young line up under the right guard instead of the center in the red zone against the Saints?
We saw
Young
that.
O-line weapons. The entire offense needs to have a come to Jesus meeting and get it together." Um, he also says, "So now, starting on the veteran quarterback, do you sit Bryce Young and start Andy Dalton the rest of the way? Unfair to Young, no question, but a lose-lose situation." And he agrees. Hayden Hurst was MIA, no doubt. Um, yeah, the Bryce had a rookie moment lining up under the right guard. It was like Miles Sanders was like, dude, what are you doing?
Go that way.
Yeah. It's like let me help you out a little bit. Yeah, that was a pretty bad rookie moment.
Yeah. I
So
had to laugh. I had to laugh. Oh, you got to be kidding me. It
so
was like what's that movie I'm looking for? It's like the replacements
oh
with Keanu
man, with
Reeves in it.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's what, that's what it looked like.
um
Oh,
it
over there.
also kind of reminded me. I know this is a different sport, but The Sandlot, where um
I know you're talking about.
where Rodriguez told Smalls to go to left center, and he goes in the whole
Oh,
different spot, and he's like, here, he's like, no, that's left. I said left center. But
He had a moment. He had a moment.
Yeah. Chef 85 says definitely looks like Frank Reich doesn't trust Young yet. They will in
He
time
doesn't.
though, hopefully. And that's what I'm hoping too, because
Mhm.
one of the things that I mentioned just before you got on, you look back and I'm a reference 2015.
Mhm.
We had some no name look like some low name receivers. I mean, Jericho Cotchery, Philly Brown, Ted Ginn Jr., Brenton Burson. Like we had some no name non number one receivers. I mean, our best man was of course Mr. Reliable, Greg
Tight
Olson.
end.
But what did Mike Shula do? He called plays that complemented each style. There was a reason why Philly Brown was hit on slants, deep routes, drags. Even the first year when Cam had Steve Smith, same thing. Ted Ginn, special
Burner.
teamer, but what did he have? Speed. I think back to the Patriots game. You know that game sealing touchdown
Oh,
that he got.
bruh. Whew.
They utilized his speed. They got him in the open field, got him the ball
Mhm.
quick. He did the rest.
He
Things
utilized
like
his
that.
talents. He utilized his talent, and that's what I'm saying, Jay. That goes to my point I was saying earlier. They played to their strengths. You made that valid point. We had Cotchery was at the end of his career.
Hmm.
New Orleans had given up on Ted Ginn for the second time, I believe, first and second time because he couldn't catch nothing. They said the man had no hands.
Yeah, this is true.
Philly Brown was a second round, believe me, it was a second or third round pick out of Ohio State.
Wait,
Second,
was he drafted?
wasn't one Philly drafted in the later rounds. I think he was drafted in the later rounds. I could be wrong.
Okay,
I think he was like a late round undrafted pick. Britton
okay.
Burson was only there because him and the owner went to the same school.
That is true. That
That
is
was it.
true.
Like, let's keep it a buck 50. But Cam found a way to make these things work.
Oh no,
And I
Philly
was
Philly was undrafted.
he's on draft.
Yeah, he was undrafted.
And look at what happens when you coach up the talent that you have on your roster. Cam, they said, had a bullet of an arm, was inaccurate. Cool. So what did they do? They played to his strengths. The weapons on that team. Now we had Smash and Dash. We had Thunder and Lightning,
Oh yeah.
which Stewie and D Will. But they said, you know what, Cam, this is what you do best. Let's play to your strengths. Teddy G, we know they said you're a special teams guy, but we feel like you still got hands and you can take the top off of the defense.
Hmm.
So hey, we're going to run you on these go routes. He was catching quick slants. He was doing long post corners. That's what he did best because what it did was open up the field for Mr. Reliable. Because what is a quarterback's best friend is a tight end.
Yeah.
Best friend, especially a rookie quarterback. A tight end is your best friend. We didn't bring Hayden Hurst over here because he had nice hair.
Right.
That's not why we brought him over here. We didn't bring him over here to be the best blocker because we have two of those. We brought the man over here because he was a five-star tight end coming out of high school. He was a beast coming out of South Carolina. Everybody knew that. He had a little injury history from Baltimore when he went to Cincinnati. Cool.
Hmm.
We brought the man over here because we knew he could catch him, because we knew Bryce Young needed that,
Right.
because we didn't have that in Ian Thomas. We don't have that in Tommy Trimble. So we said we need a reliable pass catching tight end. Why was he only targeted one time last week?
Not to mention he was the one that got us the first touchdown of the season.
My thing, that's what I said. My thing was this was we put, and I was reading articles, we put a lot of hype on Laviscus. Rightfully so. He's going to be our Debo Samuels
Oh yeah.
in Carolina. That's what they said. He's supposed to be all that work that Bryce Young was putting in with the wide receivers during the offseason, which I commend him for. Why are we not seeing that translate on the field on Sunday? because Frank Wright does not fully trust Bryce Young on Sundays. He really didn't trust him when the bright lights came on Monday. It's
Mm,
quite evident because if you look at the play from practices, if you look at the play from the preseason, if you look at the plays from the when we had with the Jets, they don't look the same as in real game. He kept talking about vanilla offense.
yep.
We look like dry day old folks home pudding.
Oh,
That's what this offense looks like.
yeah.
You just want to choke it like with raisins in it. It looks gross. You should be ashamed.
Yeah.
Our defense looks legit, and I know I got on him last year, and I feel bad. CJ Henderson actually doesn't look that bad this year with JC Horn out. Again, besides the one pass to Olave, which he was there,
Hmm.
he ain't really looked that bad. I'm not gonna give him a full pass,
Right. Because we
but
know
he
his
don't look
history.
that bad. Dante Jackson, besides the stupid, he relied too much on his speed. He got beat on a double move.
Yep.
Didn't look that bad. Our defense actually looks legitimate. And as funny as we was texting throughout the game, I'm thinking our defense is going to wear down. The defense is going to wear down. The defense
Yeah.
is going to wear down. They wore down,
That they did.
but they
Yeah.
played good.
Yeah. Defense has been what's keeping us in the game for sure. But I mean, they can't do it by themselves. Um, Chef 85 says, I just hope we don't ruin Bryce Young before he gets a real chance to prove what he can do. That is my fear. We don't want another David Carr shell shocked quarterback. Even Sam Darnold was beaten down early on. And he also agrees with you on Ted Ginn. Ted Ginn did nothing before or after leaving Carolina. Solid viewpoint, cannot dispute it.
Nothing. Nothing. Teddy G had his best years in Carolina, hands down. His best years with us because we played to his strength. And that's my point. Terrace Marshall is what, 6'3", 6'4", runs a 4.44, 5.40.
Yeah,
The man has a wingspan of a pterodactyl. Throw the ball up to him and let him do what he does. That's what we did last year. DJ Chark is known as a burner when he can stay on the field. Sounds like somebody we know on the defensive side. When you can stay on the field, JC Horn, we're talking to you. When you can stay on the field. Adam Thielen is known as a pass catching possession, especially at this point in his career. Why are we? It's I feel like Matt Rule all over again.
yep.
Quick screen, dink and dunk, run the ball. How many times? Somebody count for me. How many times last week were we in third and long?
Oh,
At least
man.
third and 8, third and 9, third and whatever. It's like Jesus Christ. Can we get something third and short? And what are we calling though? Like what are we calling?
Yeah,
And Mr.
we were 4 of 14 on third downs.
You know how sad that is. I think I looked. I told. I think I texted you this. At one point, they had 16 first downs, so I believe it was our 8. 16.
Yeah.
Why? Because our offense couldn't stay on the field. Because I'm gonna call him what it is right now until he get out of his own way. Mr. Ego needs to hand over the play calling duties.
To Thomas
When
Brown.
you tell me you've never won as a head coach, you've never won a Super Bowl.
Hmm.
You're not Andy Reid, bro. You're not going to hand over play calling duties to Thomas Brown to maybe the end of the year 1 or year 2. What? Did anybody else see that, read that but me? Am I crazy?
No, you're not. And not to
What?
mention, did folks forget that Thomas Brown came from a Super Bowl winning Oh yeah, that's right. Sean McVay.
One of the brightest minds in football. Let me make like Frank Wright. You did not come from this all-world explosive offense, dude. You really didn't.
Mm.
But now you're not willing to like. What was the point of hiring Thomas Brown? Was it a PR stunt? What did you do it for? You notice when you let your defensive coordinator call his plays, that defense looks really good.
Yep.
Be a head coach, my dude. Be a head coach. You're not a play
Yes.
caller. You're
Eh,
not a Hall of Fame quarterback. You're not, I don't even think you made a Pro Bowl in your career, cuz.
nope. Sure didn't.
Like you're not that guy.
and
Hand it off.
and for the record, I gotta throw this quick one in here. Going back to Ted Ginn. If y'all don't
Mhm.
believe his best year was with Carolina, he happened to set his career highest in average yards receiving, longest reception, most touchdowns, most rushing attempts, most rushing yards, longest rush, and highest rushing average, all with Carolina.
There's a reason. I'm just saying, like, there's a reason. There's a reason because they played to the man's strengths. We are not playing to the man's strengths. That's what I'm saying. I look at a lot of these channels, and make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to both these channels as well, because me and Jay gonna talk. We're gonna create our own little joint. I don't know what we're gonna call it, but we're gonna get something popping off here later on. But if you look at some of these channels, they're throwing Terrence Marshall under the bus. I'm not for that because the man shows potential. He showed potential last year.
Hmm.
He had a little injury, little hamstring thing, but he caught the one pass that he caught. The one thing I like about TMJ is he caught it with his hands.
Oh
So the
yeah,
man has hands. We so quick to throw wide receivers under the bus because we want him to be a better version of Cam. He's not going to be the better. He is a more accurate passer than Cam. I'll give him that.
yeah, we'll give him that.
I'll give him that. But like I said, we've got so spoiled by what Cam did, and we was ready to throw him under the bus every second of every day that Cam wasn't winning the Super Bowls. But he started off because Cam set a precedent that was so high when you throw for over 300 yards. And then we're looking at CJ Stroud. We're looking at Anthony Richardson. We're looking at those offenses now they're losing,
Hmm.
but they look exciting.
Right. That's what's sticking out. That's the main
They
thing that's sticking out.
they're still both, I believe both are still 0-2.
Right.
Both of those teams are still 0-2. But Anthony Richardson looks exciting to watch. CJ Stroud has almost 700 yards passing. Like they're lighting it up.
Okay, so the
So
Colts are actually 1-1. The Colts are 1-1.
okay.
Okay.
Colts 1-1. Texans are 0-2.
Yeah.
But their offenses look way more exciting than ours do. Ours looks like ours is stuck back in 1980, and they're in 3023.
Yeah,
We just
exactly.
look like like
And
it's just there. But
and speaking of which, Chef 85
mm,
has a good question for the both of us. Do you feel we need a north to south bruising running back to help on third downs?
yes, yes. What is our motto for the Panthers? Like what our motto has always been: keep pounding.
Yeah, my thing is, why did they wait till so late in the last game to throw Chuba in the mix?
I'm glad you just said that. I'm glad you said that because didn't he have a monster game last week against Atlanta?
Yeah, like and him and Miles were sharing the load, and it's like in the Saints game, I mean, Chuba only had 2 carries. Miles had 14. Like what?
So Frank Wright doesn't. I talked to a couple guys that are Colts fans. My one of my homeboys is actually a Colts fan. He was just like he laughed, joked. He said, "Well, good luck with Frank Wright." And I'm like, "Okay, what do you mean?" He was like, "You'll see with his play calling. He doesn't know how to feed the hot hand." I was like, "No, no, no, we good, man. You know, we said we wanted a. What did we say, folks? We wanted an offensive minded coach.
Yeah.
Guess what we got? We got a coach. I'm not even called bro offensive minded. We got a coach. I'm gonna take this thing off because it's getting on my nerves.
I
We got a coach
I really don't see
that
anything that much different from Ben McAdoo's play calling.
Zero, zero, zero. And the fact that, and it would be one thing if Hayden Hurst was hurt. It'd be
Right.
one thing if Chuba Hubbard was hurt. Neither one of those guys was hurt. But what we lack is what all has always made the Panthers successful. What we lack is what always made playoff teams successful is you have a bruiser when that weather gets real cold and nobody really feel like tackling you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what made what's that boy that they're not using in Chicago anymore? Um the running back.
Deontay Foreman.
Foreman. What made him? He was a bruiser.
Oh yes.
He was a bruiser. We don't because we let what's the old boy that came out of Appalachian State? We let him go. He was the
Cameron
biggest back that
Peoples.
we had.
Yeah, Cameron Peoples.
He's gone. He
Yep.
fumbled one time. They was like, "Yeah, you're out of here."
Yeah.
We as good as Miles Sanders was in Philly. Miles Sanders is not a bruiser.
Correct.
He's not. He's a finesse back. Chuba is a speed finesse back. We don't have a bruiser. I mean, but for what we're trying to do, we've gotten away from what that keep pounding mantra was when we let the big backs go. But
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
got I got faith. But after two games, I said I'm not one of these guys. I'm not hitting the panic button after two games. I'm not gonna hit the panic button after two games.
Same.
Does it
Same.
give me a little bit more? Does it give me a little bit more gray hair? Yeah, I dyed my beard so you can't see it. But does it give me some gray hair? Yeah,
Yeah.
but it gives me flashbacks. So when people say be patient, we as Panthers fans have been patient for years. We went
Years.
through almost 4 years of Matt Rule. We went through a bad losing season before Matt Rule got here. How much more patient should we have to be with this franchise and aptitude to put a winning product on the field? Don't tell us to
Exactly.
keep being patient. We got that's what I say we got spoiled
Right.
by those good years. And now we're sitting here like, Jesus Christ, what are we looking at? Like,
Yeah.
bring the whole stadium down.
Some more comments. Chef 85 said, so he said the same thing last week, that Thomas Brown needs to call the plays. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Frank Reich is antiquated in his play calling style. It's outdated, so hand it off. Geez, everyone sees the mistakes and fixes for us to accept the individuals in charge. Also, a good viewpoint you made on Terrace Marshall Jr. I will back off of him until he gives me a reason not to. Young reminds me of a less mobile Russell Wilson. Cam Newton was immediate impact guy. Bryce just needs time.
Facts.
Yeah, good
But when he
breakdown.
came, but when he came out, that what they sold us on was he was the most NFL ready.
Yes.
You could plug and play him, right? Right? Am I wrong, Joe? From day one, they said Bryce Young was the most NFL ready.
Hmm.
Dirty don't look NFL ready to me. He looked like a deer in headlights. Rightfully so, but you're a rookie. But then you have the guys drafted behind you that are lighting it up on bad teams too.
Yeah. And speaking of which, as we transition to, oh, bro, you're gonna hate this. The statistical comparison, and of course,
Jesus.
we're going to start with the offense. This Seattle matchup. Whew. Okay. Offense. Total
Hmm.
yards per game. Carolina ranked 28th. Seattle
Hmm.
ranked 25th. Rushing yards per game.
Hmm.
Carolina ranked ninth, so in the top 10. Seattle ranked 26th. Rushing yards per attempt. Carolina, we're ranked fourth. Seattle ranked 20th. So we got a big edge in the running game for sure. Oh, but here's where it starts to go south. Passing net yards per game. Carolina ranked dead last at 32. Seattle ranked 17th. Sacks allowed. Carolina tied for 17th. Seattle tied for 8th. Third down efficiency. Carolina ranked 25th. Seattle ranked 20th. And points per game. Carolina tied for 30th. And Seattle ranked 13th. Dude, we are dead last in passing net yards per game.
We're averaging less than 5 yards per pass, bro. We're averaging less than 5 yards a
Yo,
pass.
it's
Like, what
that
are we doing?
bad.
We ha- that's what I'm saying, and that's the part that kills me, though. I know you and I have a difference on Steve Wilkes going and Frank Wright coming in. I get that one,
Yeah, yeah.
but bruh,
And this is an offensive minded head coach.
offensive minded head coach, though, right? This what we always clamoring for. This, he was going to come revolutionize the Panthers offense, and we were going to look all fantastic.
Dude,
We
my last stream, I kept saying Frank Reich at his intro welcoming press conference. Oh, we know the emphasis and importance of chunk plays. Where are the chunk plays? Where are the chunk plays?
MIA, literally MIA. We don't see them. We don't see them. And I said, and I'm going to hold firm to this. He does not fully trust Bryce Young in games. He's babying him in games instead of letting him being what he was at Alabama.
Right,
Now this man then came from arguably, and I'm talking about Bryce Young.
right,
Look, Bryce Young, you still my dude. I'm still gonna rock with you because you're a Panther.
right.
He came from arguably the best high school in the country modern day. Arguably the best high school.
Oh,
We're
interesting.
not gonna you can't dispute that one.
Hmm.
He went to arguably the best, if not one of the best colleges in Alabama.
The Tide.
Then he's proven that he can make it at each level he's been at. So you don't need to be, now I get it. The NFL is a different animal. It's a totally different beast.
Hmm.
I 1,000% get that. But you're not doing this man any favors by putting the kitty gloves on him when it matters. It's like the little Sir Purr gloves he's putting on him, saying, "Oh, Bryce, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna coddle and bring you along slowly, and man, get out of the way, bruh.
Yeah.
Get out of the way. Let the man shine." But we're seeing that in game where he does not trust Bryce Young in games. He does not trust, and I may be wrong, but I doubt it. He doesn't trust our offensive coordinator. Because
Ooh.
if he did, you hired that man to revolutionize this offense. But yet and still, you're calling the plays that are not working all the time. Hell, half the time, because they really didn't work when you were in Indy. But we said you're going to come to Carolina, and this all-star coaching staff, because what did
Yep.
we all hear in the offseason? Oh, y'all got a hell of a coaching staff. The Panthers got a hell of y'all got all-stars over there.
I think it
All-star
was
coach.
what 11 Super Bowls between each of the members of the coaching staff all together.
But you know what that doesn't equate to, Jay? All-star coaches don't play.
That is true.
But you know what they should do? They should elevate the talent that they're coaching.
Exactly.
Last time I checked.
And
I'm just saying.
yeah, and
I'm
that
just saying.
and now we're gonna get into a really difficult question that Chef 85 just posted. He says, "Do
Come on.
you guys feel that trading Burns for picks makes sense if our year continues to be a down season?" Two-part question. So that's the first part. Second part
Mhm.
is, lastly, do you think fit as in Scotty Fitterer, needs to go at the end of the year?
No to trading Brian Burns. That's he. He's no
Now
Julius
duly noted,
Peppers.
we have no first round pick.
I'm glad you said that. Ethan, you got to start reading my mind. I'm about to say that. We have no first round pick because we have no first round pick.
Yeah.
Um, do I don't, but I don't see this. I don't see this losing continuing because I see at some point Frank Wright finally saying, you know what, I have this offensive minded genius that came from a way more high powered offense than I have ever had from Los Angeles. I hired him, let that man do his job. Because you know what Mr. Brown's going to do? He's going to take the kid gloves off of Bryce Young and he's going to let him be Bryce Young.
Yeah.
He's going to start calling plays to make these guys successful. So when you do that, we don't have nobody right now on this roster. So when it starts to kick over to replace Brian Burns, we don't have it.
This is
There's
true.
nobody that I can see coming in this draft that can replace Brian Burns. Now, is he lighting it up on fire? No. But is he the best edge rusher we have?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Two-time
We
Pro
just don't
Bowler.
you don't find them every year because how long did it take us to find him? How long did it correct me, how long did it take us to replace Peppers after he left?
Ooh. Ooh.
It's like y'all keep forgetting these edge rushers don't grow on trees.
That is true. That is
No,
true.
we were striving for another JP after he left, and we was like, "Oh my God, we can't get no pressure on the quarterback."
And to and
Now,
and to be honest, I'm not so sure we'll have another type of defensive line that carried a candle to Peppers, Rucker, Buckner, and Jenkins.
not even close. That was a once in a generational type. That front four was vicious, and I
Yeah.
mean vicious. No, but what we do have, and what I do like, Brian Burns is next level. He's not in the category of T.J. Watt and who's
Nick Bosa.
Bosa. He's not in that category. He can get there, but he's not there. Derek Brown, for all the slack that he was getting, is starting to show up and show out.
Yes, yes he is.
The guys, the Williams that we brought over, Shad Tuttle that we brought over, are starting to show out. We finally Justin Houston, remember, didn't come in late into training camp, so he got to catch his groove
Right, right.
with that. So we have a solid front four. We have solid rotation.
Hmm.
Louvu is a freaking animal. I love Frankie Louvu. Boy's a dog. He's a dog.
Came in as a special teamer, and look at him now.
A dog. A Hill dog. I like what he's showing. I know Shaq is hurt, but watch Hill step up his game even more. Watch it
Oh
happen.
yeah, Camus. Yep.
Watch him
Who
step
had a
up.
great training camp and a great preseason. Keep an eye on him.
Watch him. Xavier Woods, solid. Von Bell, solid.
Yep.
That's what I said. The boy Tro Hill we brought over, solid nickel corner.
Yep.
Like him. I said Dante, if he can stay on the field, good. CJ Henderson, I'm gonna mark my words. CJ Henderson's gonna have a turnaround year. I'm gonna mark it. We're gonna
Ooh.
stamp this cast right here. CJ
Okay.
Henderson's gonna have a turnaround year. I
Y'all
said it.
y'all know it. Y'all know where to go to for the archive.
Hey, I said he's gonna have a turnaround year. Our
um
defense, yo, is just like I'm excited, Jay, about I'm excited about the defense.
Yeah,
The
same here,
offense.
and it's actually going to show in the statistical comparison. One more comment about the offense, and then we're going to go to the defensive statistical comparison. Chef 85 says offensive-minded head coach that doesn't trust a non-veteran quarterback that much is clear. Offense is toned down because he doesn't trust Bryce Young. You have to let Young play like Young. Mistakes will happen, but you got to let Young, a Heisman Trophy winner, let
Heisman
him
Trophy
be
winner.
him.
Went to one of the best high schools in the country. So that's what I said. He didn't go to some backwoods high school you never heard of. He went to everybody here has heard of Modern Day. Everybody has heard of my. I watch Modern Day on YouTube sometimes because they're like these kids. Like you can tell me, all these kids are going to college.
Hmm.
This is how good they are. They don't want to play nobody in California really because can't nobody in California beat them. So you're
Right.
traveling around the country to beat other teams. The only team that I can say really held a cannon to him was IMG.
Ah,
That was it. But
fair
I said
point.
he went to. If you look at the statistics of high schools in the country, Modern Day for a good 2 decades or so have been in the top three. That's how good of a high school they are.
Hmm.
And so for Bryce Young to quarterback that team, you have to have it up here and in here. The kid, and I think he's about my height, a little bit shorter. He's smaller than me, but he's about my height, a little bit shorter. But he thrived. And for those of y'all that are not football aficionados, you are not going to get recruited by the University of Alabama if you're just some 2-star, 3-star quarterback. You
Right.
literally have to be one of the elite to get recruited to Alabama. And the fact that he did it, won a Heisman, to tell you something, let the man go. I'm just saying.
Not only that, I reiterate. Frank Reich said at some point, gonna pass the keys to Thomas Brown. How long you gonna wait, Coach Frank Reich? How long you gonna wait?
Let him tell it year two.
I mean,
Let him tell it.
defensive comparison, statistical comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right.
This would
Total
be fun.
yards allowed per game.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina ranked 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle ranked 31st. Frank Reich, take notes. They're ranked 31st in total
Terrible.
yards allowed per game.
They're terrible. That's what they're terrible. That's what I should tell you. They're terrible.
Rushing
That's why I
yards.
said,
Oh, go
watch
ahead. Go
Andy
ahead.
Dalton go off. Watch Andy Dalton go off. Watch.
Come on now. They're ranked 31st, second from the last spot. Come
So
on, offense, get it together.
this is the perfect game for Frank Wright to be like, oh, you see, we had this all along. Look, I told you. You're playing one of the worst defenses in the league, dude. You better show out. You better show out. That's all I'm gonna say.
Rushing yards per game allowed. Carolina ranked 25th. Seattle ranked 13th. Rushing yards per attempt allowed. Carolina ranked 21st. Seattle ranked 3rd. Okay, so they are good at stopping the run. So do we have to note that that has been kind of one of our struggles in stopping the run. But here's
Yes.
here's another big one. Passing net yards allowed per game. Carolina ranked 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle ranked 30th.
You know what? I
We
like how
should
you
be
keep
airing
proving my.
out against these fools.
You keep making my point, Jay. That's how I say I love it. I love it. Watch Andy Dalton go nuts. Watch. Because then like we can't run the ball and watch. I'm gonna call it right now. I'm gonna call it, and we're gonna archive this one too. Watch at least 1 or 2 of the receivers either go over 100 or one of them go over 100, the other one get close to 100. And I'm gonna call right now. Adam Thielen is catching 2 touchdown passes.
Oh,
Watching. Mark
we
my words.
we should be airing it out against these fools, these seabirds.
So do you think it's a coincidence that Bryce Young is sitting out the game in Seattle and Andy Dalton starting?
That is a fair point because remember, Bryce did finish the game and it wasn't really said about this injury until way afterwards. So you make a fair point. You make a fair point.
Coincidence? I think not.
Um. Oh, what's up, B Rider and Mr. Gemini? I just now see your comments. B Rider says, "Oh, B Rider." He says, "Watch Andy fire up the offense, causing a quarterback controversy. That is what. That is just what would happen to the Panthers." See,
I just, I,
you're on to
I'm
something.
just saying. I'm just saying. Just saying. Yo,
um,
watch it.
Mr. Gemini says, Burns didn't do anything last game. Yeah, he was kind of
He was there.
yeah. Why didn't Chuba didn't get a handoff until the second half? We have no flipping idea.
Why didn't Hayden Hurst catch a pass into the fourth quarter?
Oh, and by the way, second half, as a matter of fact, I think it was all in the fourth quarter. Chuba had 5 catches. 5.
It's it's the coach, man. It's like we keep going through this cycle of just bad coaching.
um, Chef 85 says, I thought we had these big plans for Jeremy Chin. Guy has not been used as much that I can tell. Thoughts? Well, I know he did have one nice play in the Saints game. I mean, I can't say that his number has been called a bunch.
I didn't really see him on the field last game, to be honest with you.
Like, you know what? Let me see what type of stats he may have had.
Let's see. Yeah, what was his snap
Um,
count from last game?
so he had 3 tackles, one tackle for loss in the previous game, and the pass deflected. That was in the Saints game.
Hmm.
And then, well, let's look at the Falcons game as well. Falcons game, he had 7 total tackles, 3 of them solo. So I mean, some splashes, I guess, but I guess not a lot that we would have expected.
That's what I'm saying. He's like to me he's the Chenault of defense because we hyped it and all we heard was, "Oh, watch how we move." And Jeremy Chin can do what he did in college, and he can roam around and make plays.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it.
Um, Mr. Gemini says Frank didn't want Bryce to begin with. Well, that's arguable. Um, he also says, and y'all really have faith in Dalton. Dalton hasn't even played in a preseason game. Okay, so that is a fair argument, but let me say again, Mr. Gemini, Seattle total yards allowed per game on the defense, they're ranked 31st, and passing net yards specifically, they're ranked 30th. We should be able to air it out against these guys. Bryce,
This ain't the
Dalton, it shouldn't matter.
this ain't the Legion of Boom of old. This is not the Legion of Boom.
I mean, I understand that Andy Dalton's not what he used to be, but this is a veteran and somebody that was once consistently in the playoffs and was a 3-time Pro Bowler. So going up against a ranked 30th to dead last
You
almost
should be able to do something
defense, we should be airing it out against these Seabirds. So,
on every play. Just like the Giants are getting beat up right now.
oh,
And
are
yes, I
they?
am listening.
Ooh, 17-3.
Yes, it's looking bad.
Oh, and C-Mac already got a touchdown.
Hmm.
Look at that. 10 carries, 61 yards, touchdown. Why am I not surprised?
Because did I want to see C-Mac go? Absolutely not. Were we paying him a lot of money? Yes. Is running back position what it was? No. But for all that, No, I don't know. He wouldn't have taken no pay cut. He
Yeah.
ain't taking no pay cut.
Oh, Mr. Gemini says, I hope not, but he might be rusty. Do you think the receivers can get separation, though? They better in this game.
In this game,
Shoo.
you can get, and that's the thing. They're going to get separation more than people realize. But it's also that separation also comes with the proper play calling. If we're not calling plays to get them set separation, if they can't do it by themselves, and I'm gonna take one of the best receivers, and you can't even argue with me on this one. Nobody, you can't. Anquan Bolden was not fast in no way, shape, form, or fashion, but he found ways to make plays and get open because they designed plays to make Anquan Bolden a beast, and they played to his strengths. He was a physical receiver, kind of built like Mingo, physical receiver. But Anquan Bolden could have had a Hall of Fame career based off of what he did. They played to his strengths. We need to play to our receiver strengths. We need to switch up the formations, Frank Wright. Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm talking to Matt Rule again. Change up, change the formations. Do more bunch hits, spread them out, do more rub routes, like open up the middle of the field, do more crossing routes. Just do something besides the stupid vanilla screen pass, handoff that we keep seeing. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Do something else.
seriously.
Hell,
Uh,
run a wildcat for all I care. Jesus Christ.
uh, Chef 85 says Frank Reich did state early on that Dalton would start at some point throughout the season when we signed him. Honestly, after all the trash QBs we suffered through, you can do far worse than Dalton. Panthers haven't had a decent backup quarterback since Derek Anderson. So I'm glad
Facts.
we have Dalton. We have been through way worse. Yeah, he's right on that.
Facts.
He's
I
definitely right
like
on
Derek
that.
Anderson. Derek Anderson was reliable. He didn't do it. He didn't do a lot, but he didn't try to sabotage the team at the same time. He played his role. Come and do my backup thing. Cam, you ready? All right, cool. It's back to you. I'm cool sitting on the side. I love Andy Dalton. I'm not saying Andy Dalton is what he used to be, but he's a professional.
Hmm.
Andy Dalton argued when he came in here. Look, whoever y'all draft, I'm here to help. I'm
Hmm.
gonna stay ready. I'm here to help. Now, are we expecting him to lead us to a Super Bowl? Absolutely not.
Right.
But I do expect you, as a veteran that's been in this game for over 10 years, to do your job
Right. Right.
because that's what they paid you to do. And you got to remember, we sat through, and Jay, you would, we sat through Vinny Testaverde in his 40s.
Oh Lord.
We sat through Rodney Peete.
Ooh.
We sat through Jimmy Clausen.
Ew.
We sat through Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Teddy Bridgewater, a stint of Matt Corral. Should I keep going? We sat through some terrible quarterback play.
Yep.
So once you see all that, bro, and me and we've been Panther fans for a hot minute.
Right.
We've been seen some garbage. I think I can stomach Andy Dalton for a couple of games. I can stomach Andy Dalton. I'm sorry. I think
Yeah.
he'll be okay.
Mr. Gemini says, and y'all think Dalton should have started this season? I mean, personally, I'm all for Bryce starting, but I wouldn't have necessarily. I would have understood if they would have rolled with Dalton, for the sake of him being the veteran. I get it, but I think, like we had said, it just comes down to Coach Reich doesn't trust Bryce Young right now. It's clear that he doesn't. Like he's got him on training wheels, and this is supposed to be the most ready quarterback and the most intelligent
Them
out of the
score. That's what them
batch.
scores said. The score said this the highest IQ of these quarterbacks, the best one since not Peyton. Who the was it Peyton Manning? Who scored the highest on the
It might have been Peyton
The
Manning.
test. Was it Peyton?
I think so. Sounds about right.
One of those guys. But his intelligence was through the roof, and C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson. Bryce Young was up here. Everybody else was down here.
Yep.
But everybody else right now is up here as far as stats. Anthony, keep saying I hate to say it. I think I told you this. I said I wouldn't be mad at Anthony Richardson, or I wouldn't be mad at all of them. But I think you and I talked about it. I said
Hmm.
Anthony Richardson was my favorite out of the three because he reminded me so much. And I guess I'm one of those guys. He reminded me of Cam. He
Yeah.
reminded me so much of Cam. And watching him play, like I watched all three of them play, I'm like, yo, could you imagine that in Carolina uniform? Could
Oh
you?
man. Yeah. That's a fair point. That is a
But
fair
he's also
point.
hurt now too. He's in concussion protocol, so it's not good either.
So looking at this Seattle team, I mean, looking at the threats, I mean, like I said, Geno Smith, I mean, don't sleep on him. I mean, the dude's
No,
been playing pretty well. Hasn't turned the ball over. I mean, three touchdowns, 440 yards so far.
Tyler Lockett kills us every time we play him.
Right. So, main thing, ooh, that's right. So they got kind of a threat in the passing game with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and don't forget they did draft Jackson Smith Jigba.
Mm-hmm.
So
They got
definitely.
weapons.
And then of course, we struggle with the run and Kenneth Walker, he's been doing all right. He's been doing okay. I mean, he's got two rushing touchdowns. Um, but yeah, we gotta stay on stopping the run for sure. But they do have weapons through the air. So the defense will be tested, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
I think we should be good there. And I know for their defense, like I said, I know they got back Bobby Wagner. They did get him back. But I mean, they're subject to the passing game. So
And they don't have linebackers that cover tight ends well.
so
Hayden,
yeah.
Hayden Hurst. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Throw the ball to the tight end.
It's funny
And
you mentioned that. Throw the ball to the tight end and Seattle, you know, it reminds me, oh yeah, that Greg Olson play, how he kind of, knifed through the secondary and gotten
you picked up
made the catch
you
in
picked up
the
what
end
I put
zone.
down. You picking up what I'm
Untouched.
putting down. I'm just saying, you know, just throwing things out there, hoping it sticks.
Had the
Hoping
Legion of Boom arguing with each other after the play.
like you thought you had him. I thought you had him. And Greg, I was like watching and Greg Olson just throws his arms in the air and just like, come on, man. Like those were the good times it was to be a Panthers fan. Those were the great times because it's like our team on both sides of the ball were exciting. And too many years now, it's one side of the ball that's somewhat bearable to watch. And for these past few years, it's been the defense that's been we can actually watch the defense and not want to regurgitate. Watching the offense is like you might as well go make you something to eat because ain't nothing really happening. We'll come back once defense gets back on the field.
Yeah,
I'm just
pretty much. Mr. Gemini says he was too hesitant and overthinking too much. I believe he's in regards to Bryce, I believe. Um, Chef
he was
85 Chef 85 says, "Do you guys really trust Henderson to cover DK Metcalf or if he plays Lockett? I just cannot see it. Kyle Pitts literally stepped in front of him. Henderson does what he does, what he always does, play the man, not the ball." So I'll say this. I
I
do
can agree with
notice that he has a tendency to not turn and look for the ball in time. Like me,
big facts.
I've mm, I mean, we got to have him in there because J.C. Horn's out. I don't know if they may consider Troy Hill getting a lot more reps, but I mean,
Not against DK. Not against DK.
uh,
No, you might as well put Jeremy Chin on DK, and that's even a bad idea.
uh, I'm guessing. I don't know. What do you think? Uh, D-Jack on DK.
That's even worse.
Oh, that's it. Oh, jeez. So
That's like
so
putting your oldest brother against your baby that just came out of the womb.
so you
DK
you
is a
really you
grown
really
man.
would be okay with him covering DK? CJ?
No,
Oh,
no,
oh, okay,
no,
okay.
no, no.
Well, our secondary is definitely going to be tested.
Out of
Um,
out of the ones that are there, I would say Jack. I would trust Jack the most. This is why we're gonna miss JC because JC had at least the size to
right.
match up with DK. D-Jack is fast, but he's about maybe 195 pounds, 200 pounds soaking wet if he's lucky. CJ is a little bit bigger, but not much. That's what I said. If I had to pick, which I wouldn't, I don't think he matched up with him speed wise. I would put Chin on him, but that's Chin's not a corner; he's a safety, so it has to be Dante. But again, I don't feel like mm, I don't trust CJ on Lockett. I don't trust him on Lockett because Lockett burns us every year. But like to your point, maybe they'll put Troy Hill on him. Maybe they'll didn't we sign the defensive back?
I think
We
it was
bought somebody up.
somebody named Sam Webb.
I never heard of him. Never mind. I don't. I feel like we're just picking bodies off of the street now. I don't know who these people are.
Yeah, I'm a name I'm not familiar with either. Oh, Chef 89. Oh, here's another big, well-known question. Would you say that J.C. Horn is a bust? Thoughts for
Mm-mm.
you both because of all the injuries. Unfortunate, he is a dog when healthy. Attitude of the secondary is vastly different when Horn is there. I'll let you go first on this one.
Let me answer this question in two ways.
Okay.
Yes, he's a bust because he can't stay on the field. Yes, it was. Yes, we could have picked a corner behind him that is actually still playing and not hurt as often. So it stings because Sertan is actually doing well with the Broncos. So
Right.
that sucks. I'm gonna say no because as somebody that played the game and played the corner position, hamstring injuries do happen. No
Right.
matter how in shape you are, that's so unpredictable. I think the other one was his ankle or his foot. That happens, especially on that the field that you play on. So
Right.
when and it sucks that we have to keep saying this. When JC is healthy, to your point, we play with a different swag in our secondary.
Mhm.
There's a different type because you know that half a side of that field, JC got you.
Yes.
Like we're good. You're not throwing over there, not with much success. So he still can come back this year, right? Like he's not gone for the season.
Correct. Correct.
So I say give JC, just like I say we give Burns, you got to give him a little bit more time, man. Because when he puts it together, the boy's a dog. Like he exudes alpha number one corner mentality. But he has to whatever. I don't know who his personal trainer is.
Mhm.
But he needs to switch him up because you come with too many injuries. So
Right.
yes, because he can't stay on the field. but no, because when he's on the field, he's a difference maker.
So I'll say this, and I'm gonna break it down into parts. I initially, after this injury came up, I'll admit, because I was talking with Corey about this, which you'll get a chance to meet him eventually. Um, I initially said yes, a bust, because the injuries for him kept piling up,
Mm-hmm.
but it made me think about a few things. Number one, remember what happened with Thomas Davis initially before he really got going.
Couple
Three,
injuries, couple
three
major
straight,
injuries.
three straight torn ACLs,
Mm-hmm.
and yet we didn't give up on him. And sure enough, got better, played in the Super Bowl. Him and Luke
Mm-hmm.
Kuechly were having tackling battles with each other.
I remember
So
those
I
days.
mean that's in the history books.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, we've seen the kind of numbers that offenses take a hit to when Horn is on that field. The PFF grades are high. Folks do not intend to throw his way for a reason.
No,
So, I mean, like you said, when healthy, he's an immediate impact on that defense, especially on that secondary in the passing game.
mm-hmm.
So, and the thing that I'm afraid of, we saw how we ran Christian McCaffrey into the ground, him being the centerpiece of our offense, at least 90 to 95%.
Yep.
Ran him into the ground, pretty much came out looking like he was injury prone. Now look where he's at. And now look at what he's doing. Right now he's leading in rushing yards, and immediately when he went there, had a playoff game. Something that he's only had once with Carolina. Once. Didn't even win the division. That was a wild card game. So
Mm-hmm.
we
Just
just we
saying.
just got a bad habit of, like, when certain players that we just give up on. And I get it. I do get it. Don't get me wrong. But then they go elsewhere and they're like, it's flowing. They're able to stay healthy and they're not ran into the ground. So
We got a bad habit of doing that.
yeah. Um Chef 85 says, I'm still a Horn supporter. I would not have taken Sertan over him. It's just unfortunate. Seems like, as always, our depth is just never solid and lackluster. We always seem one injury away from disaster. Um, he also says, I think Luke walking away hurt our defense and franchise overall. Big,
Oh heck yeah,
ginormous facts.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Huge. One once in a generation talent.
Yeah,
Killed it. I was
yeah,
I as a grown man was actually heartbroken when he left. I'm like, yo, say it ain't so. Say it like Luke, come back. You're joking. Haha, very funny. Like I enjoyed watching Luke Kuechly play the game because of his intelligence. Like his football IQ was out of this stratosphere. The
yep,
man knew what he was doing. So yeah, that one hurt big time.
yeah. Like, that sucked the life out of the fan base, and
Yeah,
when you think about it, out of the organization, because we all knew how big of an impact he made on defense.
he the heart and soul. Literally was the heart and soul. You could tell Luke Kuechly had. I'm not gonna say as big, but close to as big an impact on this franchise as Cam did. But from a
Hmm.
defensive perspective, those watching those two go at it back and forth, especially probably in practice, was something that it's like iron sharpens iron. We don't have that iron on defense anymore to sharpen the iron on offense. We don't have that. I love Shaq, cool guy, and I'm not even trying to compare him to the two, but Shaq's not Luke. Shaq was not brought here to be Luke. Shaq was brought here to be TD.
Yeah,
That's what Shaq was brought here.
right.
We don't have that alpha dog on the other side. As much as I love Bryce, Bryce doesn't have that swag of Cam. He's too much of a good kid. Cam had that I'm in your face, I'm gonna talk trash to you, your mama, your cheerleader, your dog,
Right.
everybody. You're gonna get the smoke. Hell, Cam Jones got in a fight with Josh Norman. This is our quarterback fighting with our cornerback.
Yep, this is
Because
true.
Cam just had a different swag about him. I don't expect that from Bryce because he's a humble kid and we love that about him. But I would also love to see Bryce come out and be like, "Yo, I don't know if you ever seen that YouTube video where he was calling his quarterback like y'all dumb or something, like y'all calling stupid plays. Like I want to see that Bryce
Yeah.
on this field. Like, yo, Frank, that's a stupid play. I'm calling something else. That doesn't make any sense. Like this, I want to see that. If y'all think I'm joking, go watch it up on YouTube. I don't know who's the offensive coordinator at Alabama. I forgot what his name was, but they had a clip where he was like, "Yo, that's a stupid play. Like y'all talking
Yeah.
to me like y'all crazy or something. Like that's dumb. Like no, I'm not doing that. I want to see that Price justify us trading away these first round picks to get you. But I understand he's not trying to step on toes because as a rookie, that's not what you do. But Frank Wright, you need to let this man go. Let him go. Let him
Yeah.
loose. Let Thomas Brown loose. Let him do their thing.
Yes, indeed. 100% agree. Um, Chef says, health, I get it, but that really set us back from a production and leadership standpoint, and we honestly have never recovered or replaced him.
Nope.
Talking about Luke Kuechly. Facts.
Nope.
Why can't we have nice things? I have no idea. Here's another question. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think Shaq Thompson is a bust? He played with TD and Luke and honestly has never been able to replace TD, let alone Luke. Thoughts? Hard questions, I know. I guess I'll go first on this one. Um, do I think he's a bust? No, for the sake of the energy that he brings on defense, the aggressiveness
Mm-hmm.
he brings, especially when stopping the run. And,
Mm-hmm.
the dude has been able to make plays in coverage. I do
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's night and day when he's not on that field.
Big facts.
But has he really lived up to an expectation that would warrant from him, the fact that he's played
Um,
around TD, that he played around with Luke, and he's played in a Super Bowl? No. I hate to say it. But do I think he's a bust? No. No. All right, your thoughts?
Bust no. I'm going to say that unequivocally. The man played running back for a little bit at Washington, played safety. We brought him in to play linebacker. He was brought in, I'm going to say this again, he was brought in to replace Thomas Davis. Thomas Davis, again, was one of those all time great Panthers. He just, not just because of what he went through, but the fight he had to get back and the production he put out on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Shaq has gained the respect, and it's hard to do this as a grown man. It's hard to come into a locker room and gain respect of other grown men.
Right.
It just is. And the fact that he's done that, the fact that, you know, he's we like I said, we've gotten spoiled by Luke because we every linebacker that comes in now, the standard has been set so high.
Yes.
Nobody, and I'm going to say this again, nobody's going to come close to Luke. Nobody. That's that's like somebody we're saying somebody's going to be Sam Mills. Now we all know what Sam Mills means to this franchise.
Yes.
We're not going to put nobody in his stratosphere.
Right.
Not even Luke Kuechly's in that stratosphere because of what Sam Mills meant to this franchise.
Yes.
No matter what, no matter what he does, Shaq will never beat Luke. But he's far from a bum and he's far from a bust because the man, like to your point, produces when he's on the field. Not at that high of a level, but he does his job and he's garnered respect of not only the men in the locker room but this franchise as well because we wanted to bring him back and he wanted to come back. So a bust, no, I wouldn't label Shaq Thompson a bust, not in any way, shape, form, or fashion. No.
Yeah. Good breakdown. Definitely a really good breakdown. Um, Chef says we have to stop running talent into the ground and overhyping them, and it sucks seeing them go elsewhere and thrive. It's getting old. Yeah, it is getting
Yeah.
old and ridiculous. Mr. Gemini says, explain letting Bryce do his thing because he threw over 70 passes so far, and not all 70 passes are screens either. Well, to be fair, I believe still his longest pass was what? Maybe 15, 16 yards. He hasn't really
Maybe.
he hasn't really thrown many deep ones as well.
He
So, I
hasn't.
mean,
He hasn't. And I said, as I pointed out earlier, some of those throws were not the most accurate throws from somebody that was NFL ready. I said that earlier. It is not the most accurate. He could have hit Mingo on a deep ball. He could have hit Terrace Marshall on one. He could have hit DJ Chark on another one.
as a matter of fact, his longest completed pass so far this season, only 22 yards.
So, and if you remember, I don't remember who Alabama was playing. He had a dime to the right hand back of the end zone where he just aired it out. I forgot who they were playing, but Bryce Young threw a dime where only his receiver could catch it. So it's not like he doesn't have an arm. It's not like the boy is not accurate. So when I say let him do his thing, the man has a football IQ that is matched by few. So when you see where he's come from, when I say let him do his thing, it's like, yes, the NFL is a different beast, but the kid knows what he's doing. He's making checks, but he's making checks within a scheme that Frank Wright still has the kitty gloves on it.
Hmm.
So I can only do so much with the plays you've given me. So I can't really air it out and do my thing because you have me in this oversecured blanket where I can't really bust out of it. Not this early because you don't want it's like you're trying to protect me from what you don't want me to be,
Right.
if that makes sense. So Frank Wright he doesn't want to just be like, okay, Bryce Young, do your thing because he still wants some form of control over this offense, as we can tell, because he won't turn it over to Thomas Brown. So you have to do it Frank Wright's way.
Yeah, and it's quite ridiculous. Chef 85 says Derek Brown has done really well. I can see him being even more impactful in this 3-4 defensive scheme. Coach
Yes.
Avero will build a solid 3-4 in time, has us trending the right way. Brown just gets ignored a lot, not nearly enough credit given. Facts. Facts.
That's it. We just, I know they said we when they put a microphone in, they put a camera in front of our face. Some of us just become like coaches, but some of us actually see the game the way it is. Like we see the talent, and it's a shame that I know they're in the building, but dude, when you have a top was Derek Brown was a top 10 pick, you have another what did Derek I mean Brian Burns go? He was top 15. He was top 15. Brown,
Yeah,
I think he was top 15. We got him at 15 or 16.
I think
One of those
15.
two. He was a top 20 pick.
Right.
Top 20 pick. So was it how you say his name? Evero?
Uh, Evero Ajaro, I
Ajaro.
think. I think it's a tricky one.
When you let that man come over here from a defense that was thriving in Denver,
Top 10.
you see how Frank Wright lets him do his thing. You know what? I'm not gonna hold over top of you, do your thing. And how the defense is playing well.
Indeed.
And I understand as a first year head coach, you're trying to put your stamp on it, you're trying to do whoop, whoop, whoop. That's cool. But through the preseason, it wasn't working. Through these first 5 games, I know we joke. I know the preseason games.
Mm-hmm.
Your first 5 games, you're 0-5,
Yep. Can't even
showing
sniff a
no
win.
no signs of life except for in garbage time.
Yep. Don't let that 20-17 score fool y'all. I'm just saying.
It wasn't even that close. The only reason that close because of the defense. That's the only reason it looked like that because of defense. It
Yeah.
wasn't that the game really didn't look like that. It should have been like 50 something to 3.
Yes.
But this is giving me shades. And I said I was talking to one of my buddy of mine. This was giving me shades of Matt Rule. And I'm sorry. I have a bad taste in my mouth from watching the Matt Rule era of football. I just have a horrible taste in my mouth of watching bad football. And it's like I'm seeing it all over again. And we're hearing the same excuses that like I felt like we got from Matt Rule, except for they're coming from a different face and a different mouth. And it still sounds stupid, but they're trying to make us look stupid. And it's just like, dude, you're not calling the best of plays, but you want us to be patient and you want to keep feeding us the same garbage that the guy before you fed us, not realizing we're tired of hearing the same garbage, but from a different mouth.
Yep. Same garbage, different mouth. Um, Mr. Gemini says Brown is playing better than Burns currently. Um,
Yes.
Chef 85, yeah, I agree as well. Chef 85 says, again, I think it's because fan base wants him to dominate like a Jenkins or Buckner. Short or star fans will always draw parallels. But see, the thing about Brown is, even if it's little by little, he has been improving every season since his rookie year.
Yes.
Um, Brown was the best pick of the rule era, hands down. Facts.
Oh, without question. Without question.
He was
Oh,
the seventh overall pick in the 2020 draft. Yeah, so top 10. He was in the top 10. Uh, Interesting question from Mr. Gemini. So, how
mhm.
long do you think Bryce should sit? If Dalton is winning, then I'm not putting Bryce back in. Whew.
Mm,
If they
mm.
air it out this Sunday with Dalton, uh,
I'd be cautious with that one. I'd be cautious with that one because while we may air it out against Seattle, y'all do know who we have coming up after Seattle. We still got to
uh,
play Minnesota.
oh yeah, oh man, and the
We still got
Vikings,
Miami,
the Lions. Yep,
the Lions, no slouch,
yep.
and who's after that?
So we have the
Um,
bye, and then we come back from the bye and play the Texans. That's the Hall
that's
of
a
Honor
win.
game.
That's a win. Um, but I guarantee, you know what? They're not going to let Andy Dalton start that game. It's going to be CJ versus Bryce Young.
Oh,
Andy Dalton's not
good
starting
point.
that game.
Good point.
They're not starting that game.
Good call on that.
That's
So,
like
oh,
what? Do
yeah.
we play the Colts this year?
Yes, we play the Colts right after the Texans in November. Start November.
Andy Dalton ain't starting them games. I'm sorry. He's not. He's not starting this game.
So,
Bryce Young is going to come back like a man with his hair on fire.
so game plan for
Mm-hmm.
this Sunday. I really feel like offense, like I said, we're going to be challenging a defense that has been pretty good at stopping the run. We've had a pretty decent run game, but I think we still got to be aggressive, but we
Mm-hmm.
need to air it out. We need to air it out. We're going up against a
That
defense ranked 31st and 30th in passing yards allowed and passing yards per attempt. We need to air it out.
it would not
So
shock me if Thomas Brown called a few of these plays. Wouldn't shock.
I'd say let give him the keys right now. This Sunday, give him the
I'm
keys
with you.
right now.
Uh,
Look
the
here, Coach Brown. We haven't been able to get those chunk plays. We're going up against a
Mhm.
defense weak in the pass game.
Awful.
Call dial up a game plan, get us those chunk plays.
Mm-hmm.
I say challenge that secondary. Challenge them.
Make those linebackers back up.
Yeah,
Make those defensive ends less aggressive. You do that by airing it out, by play action. That way, they're like, okay, I can't just pin my ears back and get after the quarterback because you know what? You guys are kicking us in the teeth.
y'all
So
better
now I have to second guess what you're doing.
y'all better open that playbook.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Makes too much sense.
And there's no
Frank
excuse.
Wright.
And there's no excuse because y'all have beaten Seattle in Seattle before, dating all the way back to I don't know. Oh yeah, Cam Newton.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Mark my words. When we come back and do this show after the game, Andy Dalton, and y'all can call me crazy. Andy Dalton will have at least 250 yards pass
Mm.
and 2 touchdowns at minimum. Mark
Eh,
my words.
I love the confidence. I definitely love the confidence, and it's definitely warranted for this type of setup.
I'm saying.
Chef 85 says it's one thing to lose, it's another to be so watered down, so vanilla on offense that it's terrible product to watch. Facts.
It's boring.
Time for
Boring.
Frank Reich to go beyond the first 5 pages of the playbook. Oh man.
It's like playing Madden where you got your favorite plays and you
Yeah.
keep running the same play over and over again. It's like if anybody played Madden where they got coach's suggestion. That's what Frank Wright's called. It's like a coach suggestion. Like, let me just push this button
Yeah.
right here and
Or
run
he
the
must be
same
using
play.
the old school Tecmo Bowl playbook. Would you only get what, 4 run plays, 4 pass plays, something like
That's
that?
all you get. He keep running the same plays over and over again. It's like insanity on offense. Change our playbook to insanity.
Uh,
Jesus Christ.
Mr. Gemini says, like, why even have Thomas Brown be the OC, but don't have him call plays? That
That's what
that
I see.
is
That's what I said, bro. That's for what? For what? Why even hire the man if you're not gonna let him call plays?
not to
What?
mention just the simple fact of, you know what? I know you came from Los Angeles. You worked with Sean McVay, and y'all even won a Super Bowl. Can you like? I would be feeding off of that alone.
It's look at the. I'm gonna come back for next show. Look at the statistical numbers when Frank Wright left Indiana. from when Thomas Brown left the Rams? Whose offense was more high powered?
Definitely the Rams.
Their offense was more diverse. They ran more schemes. They did more motion. It just looked a. And you're not going to sit and tell me now. I know we don't have the best line, but the Rams didn't have the greatest offensive line in football either. They didn't. But they played to the team's strengths.
And not to mention, Matthew Stafford wasn't putting up mega yards since post Megatron. But then when he went to the Rams,
Woo!
and the
Numbers
not only because it wasn't just weapons alone. It wasn't just weapons alone. Yes, he had Odell Beckham Jr. Yes, he had Cooper Cup.
Cam
But
Akers.
yeah, Cam Akers. But he had the play calling and the pieces from the coaching staff. I mean, you even see the amount of yardage that he was putting up, even in the games he lost. At least 250 to 300, which, weren't many losses because they only lost 5 games that season in
Looked
2021.
exciting.
But still, like, Frank, you got somebody as your offensive coordinator that was there for that Super Bowl year. Like,
They got a ring just like you got a ring.
like, how does that not warrant an action of let me see what this guy knows and what he can do. He might have some ideas that I wouldn't have thought of that may, I don't know, actually work.
He's got a younger, fresher mind for the modern day game. My mind is kind of old school back in the day. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You
Like
might want to change your train of thought there, Frank.
like seriously.
It would help. This is my 2 cents.
Not to mention, let's keep in mind his stint dates back to 2020 with the Rams. His first NFL coaching job was with the Rams, running backs coach, assistant head coach and running backs coach, assistant head coach, tight ends coach. How the heck do you go from running backs coach to assistant head coach? I would think that's quite a jump.
Maybe because you know what you're doing. You might know a few things about football. Just throwing that in the atmosphere. You might, know what you're doing there. And then not only that, you do it on a successful team. It's not like he was, with the Jaguars when they were bad, or with the Bears and he was coaching up Justin Fields and he didn't do anything. Hell, I'm gonna give you a perfect example of how I know Eric Bieniemy was doing calling plays in Kansas City. Has anybody watched the Washington Commanders football? Who's calling those plays? Eric Bieniemy.
Ah,
Sam Howell is looking damn good.
yep.
Eric Bieniemy calling the plays. I'm just saying.
That is a good call. And oh yeah, they're I don't know, 2-0.
Oh, because Ron Rivera got out of the way and let his offensive coordinator do his job. I'm just saying.
Yep, going into game 3, Sam Howell already has 501 passing yards and 3 touchdowns.
Just saying. It you hire these men to do a job. They're offensive minded coordinators, offensive minded for today. Not only that, their their mind is fit for today's game. Eric Bieniemy came from one of the greatest offenses in the world in Kansas City. He's brought that offense to Washington. I know that I live near DC, so I see all their games on TV as well.
Yep.
Brown came from one of the greatest shows as well with the Rams. To your point, Matthew Stafford putting up numbers.
Yep.
So why? And then we go to Frank Wright. Now, the Colts were no slouches, but they weren't on the same level as the Chiefs. Yes, different quarterbacks. I
Right.
get it. But they weren't even on the same level as the Rams. And again, to your point, Matthew Stafford post Megatron wasn't lighting the world on fire.
Right.
He gets over there with them. He is a totally different quarterback who, guess what, won a Super Bowl
And had
with that
fun
offense.
doing it.
So you come on, Frank. Right? Did you win a Super Bowl in Indy?
Nope.
Ooh,
He did sniff a playoff appearance, but that's about it. Which honestly, you would think with that being the case, he would be more understanding and shouldn't really have any excuses because he has tasted playoff appearance as a head coach. So you would think he would know better.
he's stubborn. He's showing he's stubborn. He's stubborn as
Uh,
hell.
Chef 85 posts a good question. Do you think hiring Thomas Brown was a PR stunt behind closed doors? That is not a bad thought.
Said that. Said that. Rewind this tape. When y'all watch this, I said that earlier. PR stunt. I called it. If you look, and I don't care if y'all hate me for it. I don't care if you hate me for it. If you look at, and I'm rewinding even further back than that. And I said, I'm gonna say this again. I know you and I differentiate on Steve Wilkes not being here.
Right.
So when Steve Wilkes didn't get the job,
Hmm.
and I want everybody, y'all can put it in the chat too. Our offensive coordinator is what color? Don't worry, I'll wait. Our assistant head coach is what color? Don't worry, I'll wait. Our
Oof.
defensive coordinator, what color? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Ooh, don't hurt him too
Don't worry, I'll wait.
bad.
What did they do? Come on now. I'm
uh,
gonna preach in here in a minute. I'm gonna preach. What are all the major coordinators of this team look like us?
yeah, yeah.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Chef 85 did not hesitate. Black, black,
Come on, man.
black.
Come on, man. Come on, yo. It's like we're not gonna hire the black head coach, but
Uh,
everybody other coordinator is gonna be black though. So we're not good
oh
enough to
man.
coach your team, but we're good enough to be the coordinators on your team. Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's what I said PR, and then and then I said you and I talked about this a little bit as well. We trying to get away from the good old boy style,
Right.
but you hired, and nothing against dude, you hired a white coach that turned around and hired a bunch of African American coaches
That he did.
as the top, not the bottom tier, the top guys, offensive coordinator, assistant head coach, defensive coordinator. Nobody cares about the special team coach because we never hear about them unless the punt goes out of bounds or you miss the field goal. You hear about the OC, the DC, and the assistant head coach.
Right.
Come on, yo. Like David Tepper ain't fooling nobody with this. We knew what you was doing. We already knew, but let's still get off topic because that could be a whole different show.
Yeah, that is a fair
A
point. That is a
whole
very
different
fair
show.
point. Um, Mr. Gemini says Frank Reich is not calling the Reich. playbook. I see what you did there. Saw what you did there. Um, Chef 85 says, "Are you concerned about Icky long term at left tackle in terms of
No,
pass protection? I think Chandler Savala has done well in limited action, losing both starting offensive guards from a year ago. No, I think Icky will be all right. I think he'll be
he'll
all
be
right.
fine. He'll be fine. Chandler Zavala has. I think they put him on the left hand side, Chandler Zavala, to help out Icky because they had chemistry. Remember, both of them went to NC State.
Yes, they both played
Both went to
side by
NC
side.
State. So watch how that also helps in Icky's development as well, because they're both young guys,
Right.
and I think that just solidified our left side because Zavala's not getting up that left guard spot. And watch when Corbett gets back, watch how much better our offensive line plays.
Oh yes, I believe
Watch.
that.
I'm just saying. I
Um,
didn't realize how much Corbett meant to the offensive line, but he makes a hell of a difference when he's in the game. Our offensive line looked a hell of a lot when that unit was in there. Even with Brady Christian that just went out,
hmm
our offensive line looked better because Corbett was that right guard, solidifying it. Christian was that left guard, solidified. Bozeman solidified the center. Icky
yes,
and Moten solidified. Our offensive line looked better, but
yes,
when you're missing a piece, that's our offensive line has to gel so well.
yep.
And Bryce Young would have probably come further along if Corbett was in there. I'm just going to say that because Corbett
Oh,
makes a difference
absolutely.
in the offensive
I
line.
mean, do won a Super Bowl with the Rams, protecting Matthew Stafford.
And who's the offensive coordinator?
Oh yeah. Oh man. I mean, even more so, he was the freaking assistant coach. I
I'm
mean,
just saying, yo, it just I don't get it. I don't get some of these coaches. We hire the dumbest college coach in history, dumbest, and then bring in a guy who has had limited success as a head coach in Indy, this offensive minded guru who
but
can't get out of his own way the first few games of the season.
but
Not
hey,
hitting the panic button, but he can't. He got to get out of his own way.
he was our first quarterback.
Nobody cares. I don't even remember him. I don't remember a pass he threw.
We still lost that game anyway.
So who cares? Oh my God, who
uh,
cares?
what's up, Joel Valesco? Good to see you. Cheshire Cat, welcome to the stream. With all the black coaches we have, they trying to get a lot of draft picks. Hmm. Oh man. Um. Okay. Score prediction.
Can I go? Let me go first. I'll go
Yeah,
first.
yeah, yeah. You can go first. Yeah.
Uh, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna disrespect our defense. I'm not gonna disrespect our defense. I'm gonna go 28-14 Panthers.
You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 28-17.
Okay, I
Twenty-eight
see that.
seventeen. Because I think we have been a bend but don't break defense, so I do expect maybe a field goal or two from Seattle. But I really feel like this is the game that they can really air it out. They need to air it out. Um,
Yeah, we can win.
Chef 85 says, "Do you see Christensen going to the bench if Icky and Zavala are clicking at left guard and left tackle once Brady is healthy?"
Yes.
No. Move him to right guard. Have him by Moten.
Oh wait. What do you say? Who's it?
So do you see Brady Christensen going to the bench if Icky and Savala are gelling at left tackle, left guard once Brady is healthy, since Brady originally was left guard before, Zavala. And I was thinking, but then again, if
Austin
Austin
Corbett comes
Corbett
back.
returns, ah,
That's
crap.
that's why I said yes. Yes. Because when Corbett gets back, Icky and Zavala are going to gel on the left. You're not going to break that tandem up. You're not putting Corbett on the bench.
Right, right.
Moden solidified. Bozeman solidified. Somebody got to go.
So you have Christensen in until Corbett returns.
Yes. Yes.
Cause
But
I'm
put
sorry
Christensen on the right.
if you're clicking with Icky and Zavala, especially like even more on the level they were in college, you don't break that. You don't break
No,
that.
because they were successful at NC State. Like they were 1-2 tandem on that left hand side. And then what's more important though is that your quarterback's blind side that's fully protected.
Exactly.
So we ain't got to worry about Bryce getting hit in the back. We're good.
Exactly. And if you got that type of tandem, because you gotta think that's not just chemistry in the NFL. They've had chemistry back since
For
college.
years.
You can
Years of chemistry.
you can feed off of that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I agree. And Christensen could still be a great depth piece,
Absolutely.
but I mean Austin Corbett. I mean we saw how much of an impact he was last
Oh,
season,
hell yeah.
and
Hell yeah.
a big boost in the O line. Uh, ooh, Chef 85 makes a good point. Make
Mm-hmm.
Brady Christensen a swing tackle, which we still need. You don't break up continuity on an offensive line. That's a fair point
Yes. I can see
because
that.
we got to remember this was the same Brady Christensen that was vertical, very vertical back at BYU.
Very much so. Very much so. I can see that happening. We brought him in to be a tackle, but we was like they said no, we're gonna as soon as we drafted Icky, we said we're gonna slide you into the guards.
Yeah,
So and he did well. So it's not like he's not a serviceable lineman, but if you have to everybody seems to agree, if Icky and Zavala are gelling on the left, Bozeman ain't going nowhere in the middle. He just signed another 3-year deal.
yeah,
Moten is not getting off that right hand side.
right.
Corbett has solidified himself as a right guard. Be that swing guy.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that. You still can. I mean, linemen get hurt all the time. Be the swing guy. It
exactly.
happens.
Because honestly, I like Brady Christensen. I think really his only main issue is that he gets happy feet sometimes that leads to false starts. That's my only thing with him,
Yeah.
which he has to work on.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to work on that. But I mean, but like you said, we cannot disrupt the chemistry of an O line, especially when it
No.
has been strongly established.
No. Don't break up the mojo. Mm.
Mr. Gemini says if Thomas Brown is calling the plays, then he'll say 24-14 Carolina. Do it, Frank Reich. Give him the keys.
I'm just saying, let him go. Let him
Unless,
do
or
his thing.
unless you plan on airing it out like you should be doing,
I
Mister
have no faith.
Mister.
I
I
I have
understand the
no faith in Frank
importance
Reich
of
to do
chunk plays. Where are they at? We better see them this Sunday.
Yes, expeditiously. I want to see them immediately. First play, air it out. Just let it. Just let. Be like any given Sunday when they put Willie Beeman in the game that second half. All nines. Just let it fly.
You know what? You wanna be bold? That first drive, run no huddle the entire drive.
Woo! I like where you're going. I like where you're going. Now, if they do that, I'm gonna stand up that entire first drive. I'm gonna stand up that entire first drive.
Because
Whew.
because one thing it does, number one, it shows that you're not going to let the noise, you're not going to let the 12th get the best of you.
No.
And secondly, you're making a statement coming off an 0 and 2 when you see in the stats the weaknesses. If you do your scouting like they should be doing, they're the professionals. You
Yeah,
take advantage of that off the jump.
got to. It's a smart football. Your secondary is terrible, so I'm going to throw at you, and I'm going to find your weakest corner, and I'm going to target him over and over again. I'm going to change up my formations to make sure I get him one on one with Adam Thielen, Terrace Marshall, or I don't know how his hammy feels. If you imagine if DJ Chark is hammy is healed and you get him on a worst corner one on one, let it
Exactly.
fly. Let it fly.
Chef 85 says anyone is better than Cam Irving. LOL. Anyone shocked that he's still unsigned? Oh wow, that is true.
He's what?
He's still unsigned. He hasn't been picked up.
Nobody's picking up Cam Irving. Why would you do that?
But he's a veteran.
That's cool. I mean, I'm not gonna hate on dude. He was a cool veteran presence. Like he was always a cool dude. I just wouldn't put him on the field.
Yeah.
I couldn't. No, I was good. I was really good on him. We're okay.
He also says, I was shocked Brandon Smith didn't stick around anywhere. Reminded me of a poor man's Micah Parsons. I had really high hopes for him, just not a fit in the 3-4 though.
Same.
Yeah. I just thought he was a hard hitting linebacker. But no, that's fair. That's definitely fair.
I had hopes for him. I thought he was gonna make it, at least as one of the backups. So at least a special teams guy, at least as well.
Now, what I would say for the Panthers defense, little something that Coach Ajaro can do, which he's been doing a good job. Uh, I would I would totally take a look a little bit at some of that film from last year. You remember we got a pick on that first drive. We picked off Geno Smith. Of course, it was, he's not playing. It was by J.C. Horn, but but
Still got to pick.
it happened. It happened. Just anything that they can do to get the jump on Geno Smith, because I know that's going to be a big thing, really getting the pressure and jump on him. We've been racking up sacks each
Mhm.
game, so that's good to see. But we can't let the weapons get cooking early, especially in the passing game, because the secondary is going to be challenged. But
Oh, without question.
we get that continuous pass rush, that can be stifled. And then it just comes down to stopping the run, just really lighting up the box and stopping the run of um, Kenneth. So,
Which I have no doubt we can do. I have no doubt our boys can do that. No doubt.
but like I said, we have to air it out. If Frank Reich doesn't air it out with the play calling, then I will lose all confidence in him and in the running of this offense. I can't. I can't. When you have it wide open like that, you got
The
to be
blueprint is there. Just
aggressive.
follow it. The
Yeah,
blueprint is already there.
like you got
Just
to be aggressive.
I'm gonna
So,
have my fingers crossed. My fingers are crossed that he does.
yeah.
I'm I'm
Eh,
hoping.
But it's also Andy Dalton. You're up.
Next man up. You're a professional. Act like one.
Yep. But Chef 85 says, enjoy the convo tonight, guys. Hope to see you all again soon. Thank you both, and hope we get this win this Sunday. Much appreciated, Chef 85. Good to see you.
Much love. Much
Much
love.
appreciated. Um, you have any final thoughts? Anything you can think of?
Stick to the script. Blueprint is laid out. As I said, I'm calling it, man. Watch Andy Dalton light it up on Sunday. Watch the defense step up behind a veteran and watch this team play way different this game than it has the previous 5 games under Frank Wright. Watch what happens. Because in that locker room, in the city, they're not calling for his head yet.
Right.
But I was watching the C3 podcast, and I was watching PNP podcast.
Nice, nice.
Let us start 0-6 and watch this fan base be like, you know what? You're looking a lot like Matt Rule, dude.
Ugh.
Let us start 0-6. We're not giving you 3 seasons. We might not even give you 2. You start 0-6, bruh, I'm going to call for your job. I'm going to be honest with you. I want you out of here. You start 0-6. That's just my last 2 cents.
Um, yeah. Like we need to go into this game guns ablazing,
Mm-hmm.
open up the playbook. We are
Mm-hmm.
dead last in offense. This is the
It's terrible.
opportunity to turn that around, especially with a suspect defense in the passing game. Turn it around. That would be really big because we're going to need some momentum from this game and then have to go and play the Vikings, a team we haven't beaten since I don't know, since we had Cam Newton.
I would say, it'd be nice. I can take 1-2 better than 0-3.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
cuz I mean, Vikings, Miami, the Lions over to the bye. These are not easy games.
You better come. These next 4 games, I would love to see us at least break 500.
We need to. Especially going down 0 and 2 in the division, we need to.
2 winnable games. We should have beat, and I could have, should have, would have, should have beat Atlanta. I don't care what
Yep,
nobody says. We should have beat Atlanta.
cuz Desmond Ritter was trash.
Straight hot garbage. We are a Miles Turner, Cade Mays false start away from putting points and beating the Saints.
Yep.
Because the Saints not like they destroyed us. You take back that fumble that Miles Sanders had. You take back that false start on fourth and one that Cade Mays had.
Mhm.
It turns that game around,
Right.
and we're talking about a 2-0 team instead of an 0-2 team.
Right. Facts. Facts.
Just saying.
Couple of more comments. Mr. Gemini says, I've never seen Frank Wright get mad or have any emotion. That is true as well. That is, yeah, he's
It's
got
like
a
paint.
point. He's like pain. Uh,
It's paint.
Kevin McFarland jumped in. He says, "Hello. What is the score prediction? I believe that Andy Dalton can hit those long throws. Bryce is not ready for those yet. It takes a while for chemistry to start. Remember before our 2015 run, we got to the playoffs 2 years before that. That is true. So you need to
Mm.
establish an identity early. I also believe Andy Dalton will see the field better than Bryce with the weapons we have. I want to see a 30-point game, aggressive passing plays. It's fun to watch too. Receivers need to get open. Um, First off, repeat your score prediction.
28-14.
Okay. Mr. Carolina says 28-14. I say 28-17 because I could see them getting maybe a middle of the game field goal of some sort after a defensive stop. But yeah, and like you said, Kevin, a 30-point game, I mean, should be achievable, especially you mentioned aggressive passing plays because let me repeat it again. Seattle defense, total yards allowed per game, ranked 31st, second from the last, and net passing yards per game, uh, ranked 30th. And oh, I forgot one. I totally forgot one. Two actually. Hold up. Sacks. We're tied for third in sacks on defense. So bring that pressure. Seattle, they're ranked 29th. They're ranked 29th in sacks. Take note, offensive line. Takeaways. We only have one, so we're tied for 24th. Seattle
Mm-hmm.
is tied for second. Third down efficiency. Check this out, fans. On defense, Carolina, top 10, ranked number 10. Seattle, ranked dead last.
I'm feeling good about Sunday.
Points allowed per game. Carolina, ranked 13th. Seattle, ranked 29th. We should be, you know what? We should destroy this team with our offense.
I want to change my score to 35-14. I'm gonna change my score.
Like, they got five stats, five rankings on defense ranked 29th or lower. Five!
I want to change my score. 35-14. Change my score.
Yo, we should be able to destroy this team on offense.
And I do think, and I'm glad that's a good point. I do think Andy Dalton, because not just because he's taller, but because he's a veteran, is going to see the field better than Bryce Young does because he's still a rookie. You're a vet. You've seen every defensive scheme that they can because you've been in the league for over 10 years.
Yes.
So he's going to see the field better. He's going to know how, he's going to know when and where to throw these windows open for his receivers because you're a vet. So I expect that from a veteran. Yes. 35-14.
Ooh.
35. I'm
I
calling it.
mean, I'm having to do a double and third take. They have five rankings on defense 29th or lower. 31st, 30th, 29th, 32nd, 29th.
Air it out. They're giving you, that's what I said, they're giving you the blueprint. Air it out.
uh, let's see. Joe Valesco says if Andy Dalton does bad or gets injured, do we call number one? Uh,
No.
no. We gotta let that ship go. We gotta let that
Yeah.
ship go. Love Cam to death, but we gotta let that ship go.
No.
Um, Kevin says I think that Andy Dalton can do better with the receivers on our team. I wish we had like a Cooper Cup or something. That would be
You
amazing.
do. His name is Adam Thielen.
Yeah. Dalton should just throw to Adam Thielen all game. Yeah, you said it. And Mr. Gemini says if we score only field goals again, then I'm done.
I'm gonna break my television. I'm gonna be honest with you. My wife, no, I didn't say that because my wife might watch this one. I'm joking.
I'll
I'm
edit it out.
literally
It's cool.
joking.
I'll edit it out.
I'm
um,
joking.
Kevin says, I just hope we have some good play calling, double reverses, deep passes, whatever we need to score points.
Something.
They are a good team, however, much different defense than 2014 Seahawks team. Oh yeah, like they're suspect to the pass. Hey,
That's what I said.
the
There
rankings
is
are
no
right
Earl
there.
Thomas. There is no Cam Chancellor. There is no Richard Sherman. There is none of that over there.
Yeah,
Throw the ball.
and like I said, with their defense ranked 32nd in third down efficiency, they suck on third downs. They're dead
Man,
last.
don't, as long as we don't put ourselves behind the eight ball with these third and longs, we'll be okay.
The only thing that they have on defense is okay, they've gotten takeaways and they can stop the run. They're good run defense. That's it.
That's okay. I just gonna throw the ball at you all game.
We better light these fools up. That's all I'm gonna say. We better light these fools up.
I'm looking forward to it.
Let's annihilate these. So last comments. Kevin says Bobby Wagner is on there, but he's older. Facts.
Yeah,
And Mr. Gemini says, I'm out though. Y'all take care. Keep pounding. Keep pounding, Mr. Gemini. Always good to see
keep
you.
pounding.
But yeah, folks, that'll do it. Like this should be the big comeback game. Andy Dalton, you're up. Frank Wright, you know what to do. Stop playing around and do it. Or give it to Thomas Brown and let him do it.
We're watching you, sir. That's all I'm gonna say is we're watching you.
This
It's a late game too.
Yep,
We're watching you.
405.
I'm just saying.
Let's get the job done.
You better. Or we're gonna put your house up for sale in Charlotte
Seriously.
quickly.
Mr. Carolina, it has been awesome and an honor having you back.
Feels good to be back, bro. Feels
But
good to be back.
I need you to do me one favor. I need you to let these good people know how can they keep up with you because you're just as important.
Man, y'all know y'all can find me, man, at the Bleeding Carolina Blues show here on the YouTube. Um, and you can also find me. I don't do Facebook anymore, but you can find me and my wife. Actually, my wife and I have a channel as well called It's About Time. You can find me on there as well, or you can find me on Spotify at Minivana Podcast. Mr. Carolina is the name.
Sounds awesome. And like I said, hopefully we can eventually get a triple threat going with me, you, keep pounding with Corey. I think we will have a blast with that. But
Yes, sir.
we're going to keep pounding. No matter what, we're going to keep pounding. We're doing
Let's get
this.
it in.
Mr. Carolina's back. He's all good, recharged, married, and happy. Let's go.
Hey, hey, ready to get it in with your boy.
We just need that victory this Sunday. Let's get on track.
Let's get it going. I'm looking forward to it.
Keep pounding. And don't forget those on my channel. Be sure to check out the link that I have in the description for Game Beauty as well for awesome video game themed makeup and cosmetic products. And don't forget to use that promo code blitzball_champ for 10% off. Nice little discount there. But thank y'all so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed tonight's live stream.
Mm-hmm.
This was a lot of fun. Keep pounding no matter what. We're going to get through this.
Yes, sir.
Positive thoughts and vibes going into Sunday. And let's get that first win of the season. Let's do this. Stay positive for another live Carolina Panthers talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming and the Bleeding Carolina Blue podcast.
Gang, gang.
We are your hosts, Blitzball Champ, and
Mr. Carolina, man. Holla at your boy, yo.
we will see y'all in the next live stream. Take care. Love y'all.